Morning, brethren. Welcome to another devotional. Turn with me to Psalm 44. In verse 6, we have another of the I wills of the Psalms. The psalmist says in verse 4, "Thou art my King, O God. Command deliverance for Jacob." He goes on in verse 6 to say, "I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies." What is David alluding to here, and what's the point that he's trying to make? Well, of course, Israel had many battles to fight while they were conquering the land of Canaan. And as a warring nation against those that they were fighting with, they had to go into battle with swords, they had to go into battle with bows, and all the various fighting implements of war that they had in those days. And no doubt, many in David's army would have been very skilled archers, very skilled swordsmen. David himself was probably among them. But no matter how gifted and skilled David and his army and his soldiers may have been, their ultimate trust was not in themselves and in their fighting abilities. Their ultimate trust was in God. They knew that their abilities were simply the means that God used to bring about for them the blessings that they enjoyed. Yes, they would go into Canaan and they would fight against the Amalekites and the Hittites and all sorts of tribes that lived in the land, and they would have to actually do battle with them and use their skills. But victory, success, blessing, ultimately was from God. It's important for us to remember this principle. God has undoubtedly gifted each of us in different ways. Some of us are very skilled at farming. Some of us are extremely gifted with regards to our career in teaching, in finance, in nursing, in architecture, in building. All of us have skills and gifts according as God has given them to us. But here's the thing. We do not trust in, and we do not depend upon, and we do not boast about these things. These things are but the means that God uses to bless us in our lives. The fact that perhaps you have a family, a lovely home in which to live, an income which means that you don't have major problems with regards to bills that you have to pay and so on. All of these things ultimately are down to the blessing of God upon you and upon me. No matter how gifted we may be, we do not trust in those things. We trust in the Lord's provision. We trust the Lord to help us to use what He has given to us in order for us to be blessed. I will not trust in my bow, neither will my sword save me, but you have saved us from our enemies and put them to shame that hated us. Brethren, let's today give thanks to God for whatever gifts, whatever skills He may have bestowed upon us. But let us look beyond those things to the God who has given us them. And let us say with the psalmist, I will not trust in whatever it happens to be, but it is in the Lord that we trust. May God bless you today in your various responsibilities and tasks.